Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all. Happy Monday. I hope everybody's having a great trading session. First of all, let's all realize that it is August, and we are right in the middle of summer, and it's probably going to be a very, very slow month. I'm going to be real careful about what I'm doing this month. This is a month where, and I want to make sure that we talk about this a little bit, because this is a month where you can really end up hurting yourself, because the moves are probably going to be a little, you know, uh, tighter, smaller, choppier. You don't want to get caught chasing the market anywhere. Uh, you want to excuse me, sorry about that. You want to be careful with, like, some of, the tight ranges that we're probably going to have, and you see a small profit, take it. Don't get yourself stuck in a big loss. If you find yourself in a losing trade, be a little quicker to take profits off or take a loss off the table. You don't want it, because if the ranges are tighter and the potential for profit or less, that means you don't want to get stuck in a bad losing trade. This time of the year, this is the time of the year that you can get yourself into some problems, in my opinion. So you just want to be a little careful, more careful in August, in my opinion. And a lot of times what I do is I trade a little bit bigger positions, and I'm very adamant about taking losses quickly and profits off the table quickly. It's funny, because I had a comment from uh, somebody in my chat room. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Nitish. And Nitish, you might have remembered saying this. Last week I shorted the Aussie. It was like on Wednesday or something. And I'm like, okay, I short the Aussie. I shorted the Kiwi, and I think I shorted like the Euro, something like that. And Nitish said, you know, so somebody asked, hey Blake, where are you looking to take profit? And this is all in the chat room. And I didn't answer because I didn't see the question at the time. But Nitish said probably looking for like 15 pips or something like that. And I think when I got out, I think I ended up taking around 15 or 20 pips, and it was really kind of a quicker trade. And I didn't mention to Nitish at the time, but really it's kind of goes along the theme of this time of year, and I know that the ranges are tighter. I know there's not as many pips to be profit, as in the fall or in the spring, and in the wintertime. I just know the volatility tends to be a little bit less, in the currency market. So, and it was a right assessment at the time by Nitish. So, he's probably looking for a quick profit, and I am, and that's the type of mindset I have right now. Is, I'm taking profits quickly. I'm also taking losses quickly. I'm not going to sit around and let a loss really get away from me, especially this time of year, because I know the chances of it bouncing back are a little bit less. You tend to get you tend to get a little bit just less follow through in the market. So hopefully you guys take heed to that. Just, if you're looking at the euro, and we obviously got to do the analysis this morning. You look at the euro dollar. We've been in a 200 pip trading range literally since the end of June. I mean, look at this: 112 to 110, 112 to 110 since the beginning of June, and it's the beginning of August right now. So like a little bit over a month, and it's been a really tight range. So, be careful about what you're doing, and try not to get too carried away and holding on to something for too terribly long. All right. Hope that hope that that message resonates with you uh, right now, because it is that time of the year where you have to be a little bit more careful. All right, now the euro dollar broke higher on Friday, and actually we had some really strong reversal candles. I mean, if you look at the euro dollar, here's a weekly candle, nice bullish engulfing, broke higher, but as we broke higher on Friday, you can see we've had very limited follow through thus far. And listen, guys, I'm not looking for a whole lot here. I mean, I'm not looking for a lot more. If you're like looking at the euro dollar and you're thinking, oh, here we go back to 116, I just don't think that's the case. I really think that we're going to be capped here, not too far away from where we're at. And right now, if we can get up towards 112 and change, I'd be a seller up there. I mean, I'm looking for like this 112. We got 112.18 here, or you can go up to all the way up to 112.27. I think it is 112.47, which will be on the 127% extension. I think those prices are all doable in the euro dollar. I think that we can make it above 112. I mean, frankly, I'm looking to be a seller up there. I mean, if we can get it. Now, we may not get it, and maybe what is happening right now is we are capped basically at 112. This is the high here was 111.90, 111.85. The high on Friday was 111.96. So, today I'll write down 112 as resistance, but I also want to note 112.20 just in case we get up there. All right. And, I'm going to put us in the range environment, but I just want you guys all to be aware that I'm still ultimately bearish while we're below 112, but we may, because it's summertime, we just may be bouncing around here, and I think that's going to be the case. I really don't foresee, unless we have just a disastrous, jobs report on Friday. I don't see us breaking through here. I don't really want to continue to draw that, but I don't see us breaking that direction. I actually see us, maybe getting a little higher and then rolling back over, and then, just bouncing around for the next couple of weeks. So, for us, I mean, I'm basically looking at very limited upside, but fairly limited on the downside too. It's not like I'm sitting here looking for the euro to, short the euro here at 112, looking for it to go down to 105 anytime in the near future. I really think we're just going to be bouncing around here. Now, as far as today goes, where can we dip to? Because it's been a very tight trading range. I'm thinking that we could dip right down here to maybe 111. What is this? It's the high here. 111.18, so 111.20. That should support us today if we get down there. All right. I don't think we got that far to go. All right. Now let's go take a look at the cable. So the pound dollar, we did break higher. Now we had some weak manufacturing. It was a manufacturing PMI. I want to double check that. Yeah, manufacturing PMI numbers came in worse than expected this morning. Let's remove that here. Okay. Now the pound actually rallied higher towards. Let's get rid of this. Towards 133. This is still the 618 retracement. Right, it's still the 618 retracement. As long as we remain below this 133.20, I just can't. I mean, I'm in the camp as long as we're below 135, it's still bearish. So and I'm going to maintain that stance. So I'll just put it in right now. Oh, wait, bearish. Other way. Hold on. There we go. Now, it'll turn red here in a second. 133.20 is resistance. Okay, 133.20. That's key resistance. Now, support. Look at the cable. I mean, this. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that stuff for now. I still think we're going down there. It's just taking its sweet ass time. I mean, the strength of the euro is really what's holding up the cable right now. I mean, if the dollar started to rally a little bit more significantly against everything, the pound would be in a lot of trouble. And you can see that directly through the euro pound. I mean, if you want to know how weak the pound is, just go reference the euro pound, which, by the way, I'm not long. Oh, I want to let you guys know, on Friday I closed out my euro pound, euro Canadian, euro New Zealand longs. I took them off the table before the stress test results. I am looking to buy the euro pound again, just FYI. Just again, it's what I was trying to point out here is how weak the cable is. For today, if you go all the way from the low here, so the 618 comes in at 131.50. You've got a lot of lows down here at 131.50. So I'm going to write down 131.50 as being support for today. All right, and resistance is at 130, 320, just in case because what can happen today, in my opinion, this has been a very tight trading range. If you look at the day range for the euro dollar, it's been 26 pips, right? So what I'm basically showing you there for the day range, it's been 26 pips. It normally moves 88. We can break highs just as easily as we were just trading at lows. The euro dollar can breach new highs and catch some momentum to the upside. And if the euro dollar makes it up towards 112, let's say, the pound dollar will make it towards one. It could break towards highs, maybe make its way up towards 133. And that's why I think that any move in the cable up towards 133, it's just going to be a layup short in my opinion. Just hoping it gets up there. All right, let's take a look at this Swissy. Now the Swissy, oh man, this move on Friday. I don't know if you guys, this sell off, the dollar sell off at the fix, man. I don't know how in the hell I made money in this particular pair, but I bought the Swissy. I want to say I bought it two different places, and somehow I mean I actually ended up making money in this Swissy. I'm not sure how the hell I did it on Friday, but the Swissy traded really, obviously really heavy, and the dollar just got creamed. I still wouldn't mind buying the dollar Swiss. Not sure where I'd buy it. Probably be something like this. I mean, if we can get it, something like that. Maybe down here. Big confluence over here, But for right now, we're holding above this horizontal level. So let me grab this line and let's just keep that right there. For right now, we're holding above that. But Friday's lows is probably pretty significant. That was a 161% extension down there. So that comes in at 96.43, and we went as low as 40, right? We went as low as 35. So I'm going to write down that support today. We have not been able to bounce here. So even any bounce in the Swissy should be fairly limited. Okay, there's all these. You notice like the spike low, spike low, spike low over here, right? It's also, if we bounce, there's a 38% retracement right there. So any move back to 97.50 should find some sellers. It's not great resistance, but it is resistance, okay? Let's take a look at the yen. Now the yen just got destroyed on Friday, and this dollar yen's a very scary. This is a very scary currency to me, and the yen is in general. And I have no yen. Actually, the only position I have right now is the Aussie New Zealand long. Just so you guys know, I'm very flat right now, and I don't know if I'd be too excited about trading the dollar yen at these levels, frankly. Um, Personally, I think if we had the opportunity to sell the dollar yen on any rally to 104, I would take that opportunity. So in other words, if we rallied to here, I'd be I would be pretty excited about shorting the dollar yen up there. Okay. The question is, are we going to make it all the way up there? Support is at 102, but resistance today, and this is a pretty tight range, is 102.65. So we have 102 to 102.65 for now. And if we break 102, I mean that's just going to usher in some dollar weakness. I really do think that this is bearish though, and keep in mind that we're in this down channel, so I think the dollar yen continues to stay bearish. All right, let's do the Canadian really quick. So here's the Canadian. So the Canadian had a decent bounce overnight. That's because crude was so weak, but crude's bouncing right now. So this trend line suggests that 130 is huge, and it's obviously 130. I mean, because you take out the 130 handle, and then you're all of a sudden you're trading back in the 20s. There's going to be a lot of orders around 130, and I think that's an area that you can trade off of. You can say, all right, well, as long as we're above 130, it's support. We get below 130 and things are going to get pretty weak for the Canadian. Strong for the Canadian currency, weak for the dollar Canadian. Rally should be capped at 131. So I think if you want to buy, you buy down here. If you want to short it, you just wait for 131, and then, because if you're if you're one of those people that look around and say, well, crude I think is undervalued, and crude's going back to 46, and whatever, then you want to be on the short side of the dollar Canadian. I think you'd have to short it up here versus down here, or even where we're at right now. So I think you got to use this range. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it right there. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll come back and we'll finish up the Aussie and the Kiwi, dollar index, peso, Nordic currencies. All right. Thanks for everybody for being here. Happy Monday to you, and happy 1st of August. Be right back. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Let's go ahead and get through like the Kiwi and the Aussie, and I'll take some of your questions on this slow Monday morning. Okay, so the Kiwi, man, I was actually short the Kiwi dollar on Friday. I lost money here. I took a short around the 618. And I ended up taking a bit of a loss. So, man, this Kiwi is so damn strong on Friday. I could not believe how big of a break higher it was. I mean, how strong of a move it was. Now, the Kiwi has almost moved up to the 786, and frankly, I wouldn't mind being short the Kiwi. I don't want to short it right at this moment in time, but I love that. I love the action here in the Kiwi, frankly. I mean, I love it. It I think any move to this 786 retracement, which is 72.43, so I'll say 72.45, I'd be a seller. But I'm not going to chase it lower right now. I'm not. I just can't do it. So now, if it does continue to fall here, we should find a lot of support down here at 71.20. Okay. Not great support, but we should find some support there. We are in a range in the Kiwi. Let's go over to the Aussie. Now, the RBA is meeting tonight. Okay, the RBA is expected to cut rates. So, should you be short the Aussie dollar right now? The answer I'm going to give you is probably. You should probably be short the Aussie right now. I'm not. I'm actually long the Aussie New Zealand, but I'm not trading the Aussie dollar, so to speak. But the thing about the RBA is everybody is expecting the RBA to cut rates tonight. Okay, so that's the consensus expectation. Now, in the event that they do not cut rates, the RBA does not cut rates, we will go slicing through this 77-cent level. Okay, for today, meaning between now and the time the RBA meets, I think any move up to 76.80, you know, is going to be an opportunity to sell. Now, I don't know if we're going to make it all the way up there right now. Let's remove that. Let's remove that. $76.20 is the 786 retracement. 76.15 are the highs here. Oops. That should be good for today. Actually, I doubt we're going to make it all the way back up to not today. Ahead of the RBA, I doubt we're going to make it all the way back up or make it up here. So 76.20 is resistance. Support should be right through here. Actually, not too far away from where we're at. We should have some decent support through here. 75.40. And just remember, if you guys are all expecting the RBA to cut rates, this is probably not a bad place to be on the long side. Right here. Expect, you know, a move like that. It's the way I'd kind of see it. And I'm not going to be playing the Aussie. Aside from the Aussie New Zealand, I'm just not playing the Aussie today. I don't think I'd have to have it move pretty aggressively to me to get for me to get excited about it. But 75.40 should offer support. We're in a range. All right, let's go take a look at the dollar index. All right. So the dollar index absolutely got smashed on Friday, obviously. Now, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to take everything off of the charts, and I'm going to redraw that, and okay, and do the same down here. Okay, now obviously the 618 held. Now we got to figure out where the dollar is going to go from here. If I recall correctly from Friday, that's how important that support is. It's a 50% retracement. That's 95.30. Okay, and yeah, any move at this stage in the game, any move back up towards 96 and a quarter. Do you remember how big 96 and a quarter has been for us? And it's been huge. We've talked about 96 and a quarter so much over the course of the last couple of weeks. That's going to be a big resistance on the way back up. Okay, I'm going to put us in a range here, and let's take a look at the peso. So the peso, we had a very, very big rejection on Friday. Obviously, the dollar got hit, so big rejection here. Just barely a break above these highs, above this resistance. We nearly hit the 618 and then just reversed hard. Okay. Now, this has set the stage for a pullback in the US dollar Mexican peso, but a lot of this has to do with equity markets. The equity markets are in breakout territory again. They need to continue to break out. All right. So 1876. That should hold today. If not, that means we've just gone risk off. But it's a 38% retracement right here. There's a 50. 618 comes in with the spike low right over here, which would be at 1850, which should be really good support. Okay, we're in a range. All right, let's look at the Norwegian krona. So Orgarly there held fine. We slumped past the 618, which on Friday. I mean, Friday the dollar selling was so strong during the London fix. I mean, it even extended past the London fix for about 10 minutes aggressively. Um, I I'm not sure about the Norwegian krona right here. It's very unclear. I'll tell you. I guess for today, which if you're going to trade it today, you have to trade it between these two levels. So if you're dollar bear, let it rally back up to 850, then short it. Then vice versa. If you're dollar bull, then you just pick it up, somewhere around support. Whoops, this is see, this here is 127% extension. It is 127% extension. Um, yeah, so if I think you just play it between 850 and 840, right? And you just kind of leave it at that. 840, 850. Play it in that range. All right, let's take a look at the US dollar Swedish krona. So channel support ended up holding. I almost bought this on Friday. I almost bought it down there, and I forgot about it because I was so, mixed up trading everything else. But that channel's holding pretty well, obviously. Uh, so 850, it looks like 853. 853 is going to be really key support. 853, and you can, if you want to trade on the long side of the U.S. dollar Swedish krona, you could do it against that. Um, that's really key resistance right here.